All right, folks, welcome back for another deep dive. We always try to dig into something interesting for you.
Always fun.
And I think we found a winner this week.
I think we did too.
It's called The Hunter's Guide to Strategic Flatulence. Mastering the Art of the Silent but Deadly.
That's quite a title.
It is quite a title.
Yeah.
We're going to be digging into this guide and seeing what kind of useful information we can pull out of this.
I'm intrigued.
All right, so right off the bat, this thing cracks me up. They have all these different types of farts.
Yeah.
So like the silent tracker.
A what?
Silent tracker. It's meant to be like a subtle distraction for prey. I guess. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know how effective that would be. Animals have a really good sense of smell.
Yeah, you think a deer's going to be fooled by a silent fart?
I
I don't think so.
I highly doubt it.
But then there's like the thunderous buck alarm.
Oh, boy.
I mean, that one's pretty
Yeah.
self-explanatory.
I think so.
And they talk about, if you really need to scare something away,
Yeah.
give it the old thunderous buck alarm.
Well, it brings up an interesting point because it talks about, using these different sounds. And that made me think about wind direction and how important that is when you're hunting.
Oh, for sure.
That's something that any experienced hunter knows.
Yeah.
You got to know which way the wind is blowing.
Absolutely. You don't want your scent going towards the animal.
Exactly. You want to be downwind. And not only that, you have to think about the terrain, the vegetation, even the time of day.
Oh, wow.
All of that can affect how your scent travels.
So you're saying even though this guide's kind of silly, it's highlighting something really important.
I think so.
Huh. Okay, so it's not just a joke book.
Not entirely.
No. Well, I'm starting to warm up to this a little bit.
Good.
Now, the guide also gets into this whole thing about, fart safety and etiquette.
Fart etiquette.
Yeah, fart etiquette while hunting. I mean, I couldn't make this stuff up.
That's a new one for me.
They talk about the courtesy crop dust.
What's that?
So basically, if you got to let one rip, be courteous and move away from your hunting buddies.
All right. That's good advice.
Yeah, I think that's good advice anywhere you are, to be honest.
Right.
But it does kind of highlight the importance of being mindful of your, bodily functions and how they might affect other people, even out in the wilderness.
This reminds me, they also had some tips in there about pre-hunt meal planning to avoid, unwanted gas.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's actually really smart.
Yeah.
Because what you eat can definitely affect,
Oh, yeah?
your output, shall we say.
Totally. Oh, man. It reminds me of this one time I ate this giant burrito before this hike.
Uh-oh.
Let's just say I was not very popular with the other hikers.
I can imagine.
All right, so moving on from the more humorous stuff,
Okay.
this guide actually debunks some common fart myths.
Oh, really?
Yeah, one of them is, can a fart call a moose?
I've heard that one.
Sadly, the answer is no.
Oh.
Which, kind of a bummer. But it does make you think about animal communication.
That's true.
Well, how different species perceive sound, which,
Yeah.
if you're trying to track animals,
Yeah.
super important.
Yeah.
And another one is, does flatulence attract predators?
Ooh, that's a good one.
So this one's only partially true.
Really?
Apparently bears with their crazy good sense of smell. They might be curious about the sound, but they're not necessarily drawn to it.
Huh.
So if you're worried about a bear sniffing out your campsite because of a rogue toot,
Yeah.
you can probably relax.
Yeah, that's good to know.
And they also tackle the myth of the silent but deadly.
Oh.
The guide confirms you can't always fart silently.
Shocker.
So, embrace those occasional mishaps.
It happens to the best of us.
Exactly. All right, so the guide also have these hilarious anecdotes.
Oh, I love a good anecdote.
So there's one called the skunk incident of 2019,
Let me guess.
where a hunter's fart actually attracted a skunk.
Well,
Oh, yeah. It's a funny story, but it also reminds you that even little actions can have big consequences out in the wild.
that's very true.
And then there's the fart versus buck challenge viral video.
I think I've seen that one.
Oh, it's classic.
It's hilarious.
It's proof that sometimes you just got to laugh
Laugh
at
for
the
the-
absurdity of it all.
Well, I have to say, I came into this thinking this was going to be a total joke.
Me too.
But I'm actually kind of impressed. This guide, it might be silly, but it does touch on some important stuff.
Yeah.
Like being mindful of your surroundings,
Right.
respecting the environment,
Mm-hmm.
and, even just being aware of your own body.
That's a good point.
We get so caught up in our technology and our gear, we forget that we're still animals. We're part of this ecosystem and farts and all.
Well said, well said. So next time you're out in the woods, maybe think twice before you let one rip. You never know what might happen.
That's good advice.
Thanks for joining us on this unconventional deep dive.
Until next time.
See you later.
Bye.